Good day, folks.
I'm Professor Shaw K.
And I'm Professor Kay Shaw. We work at the University for Dummies.
Later renamed University for A+ students.
But we can't do that.
So it was renamed Students with a Grade Average over C.
Yeah, but we weren't quite at that standard, so now it's a D. Yes.
Are we experts on this topic? Well, as you can see by our grade, no, we aren't. We're doing this for extra credit.
The Renaissance, a time of great prosperity when all the greatest people of all time were born. Except for Mario, he was born in the 21st century. But anyway, this was the time of great prosperity and everything was going right in the world. This started when?
To cut to the point, didn't the Renaissance start when some measly noble gave his land to an unworthy peasant?
These land grants called fiefs were a vital part of the Renaissance. I mean, these fiefs grew into large towns that supported most of the early Renaissance settlers. I mean, look at my awesome fief. Trade. Anyone want to trade with for my turtle?
Can I trade with you?
Are you from this town?
No.
Then no trade for you.
Aw. Taxes. Hey, you, I need your money.
What, me? Are
Yes,
you even
you.
from this town?
No.
Then you're not taking my money. Wow, I'm doing so good in this video game.
Sir, it says strictly here that you aren't allowed to play video games, especially Barbie.
But it's My Little
Shut
Pony. Aww.
I'm Milan, not to be confused with Mulan. I mean, how could you confuse us? Look how much better looking I am. Anyway, I sell armor and iron tools. Hi, I'm Venice.
Do you play tennis?
No, I'm so close. So strange. But good guess. Hi, I'm Florence. I make high quality clothes. Plus we're the head of banking. Hi, I'm Genoa. I sell gold and ivory from Africa. In conclusion, all of the trade, all of the cities, it sparked an influence in art, and all the rich people with all the money now made sculptures. Boom. Art. Boom. And everything was flourishing in the Renaissance.
Before, not much people walked along the Silk Road. After Marco Polo came and shared his discoveries about food, art, and such luxury goods such as silk and spice, many trade routes connected to Europe, Africa, and Asia. The 13th century Mongolian conquest in Asia made it safer for traders to travel along the Silk Road to China. Many travelers could now travel across the Silk Road safely. Trade also helped. Now many people went into other cities and populated other areas. Many cities around Italy were bustling with activity. There were three ranks: craftsman, merchant, and banker. The Medicis were the most famous and richest family in all of Europe. How did they become this way?
I'm classical and proud to be. I was made with balance and harmony. I'm lifelike, but a bit too perfect. My body is in motion. I can't object. I'm usually naked without no clothes, but on special occasions I wear silk robes. My face is calm. It shows no emotion. I'm made of stone. I don't need some lotion. I'm portrayed as a hero most of the time, but I could be real people doing jobs in daily life. Backgrounds of paintings rate from 0 to none. Same to perspective. My rap here is done. The previous rap will be hard to beat, but I'm a devil. I'm bringing on the heat. My art is religious and shows faith to God. It shows Jesus, the Bible. This is no fraud. If you are important, you will dominate the picture, but unknown, you will face the stricture. I'm shown as stiff with very little movement. My clothing tight still doesn't need improvement. I'm serious. I show no feeling. I'm a 2D figure, but not unappealing. My colors are bright, my background solid gold. My fellow rappers, your future looks cold. This is the Renaissance, the greatest single era. The two other rappers will boil in my caldera. I'm not all religious or completely atheist. My art is in the middle, you might say it's a mix. My art is bound to the work of nature. It's also influenced great architecture. My figures are lifelike and shown in the third dimension. You might say it seems like heaven. Our bodies are active in constant motion. This isn't any phony, it's a modern notion. Our figures are made with fancy clothes, except for sculptures naked to the toes. We're everyday people doing everyday things, but I'm a portrait, fit for a king. The colors in paintings respond to light. It truly is a beautiful sight. In art, we show symmetry, stable in the middle as you can clearly see. We finish backgrounds, we aren't snobs. Perspective's the key as we finish the job.
The High Renaissance. The High Renaissance started in 1490 when Leonardo da Vinci painted the Last Supper mural on the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie in Milan. This period ended in 1527 when King Charles V and his troops sacked the city of Rome. So what was the High Renaissance? It was a 30-year period of exceptional artistry and innovation. A few figureheads during the High Renaissance were people like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Leonardo da Vinci is the second man, Raphael is the first, and Michelangelo is the third. They were all famous artists. The High Renaissance occurred in Italy and mainly Rome, the capital city. So the sculpture was really popular in the High Renaissance. This is the Pieta by Michelangelo, which was one of the more famous sculptures. The styles of building were characterized by a balance between stillness and movement. Sculpture was also often used to decorate architecture in courtyards and were normally commissioned by the state for public art because art was a huge thing in those days. Painting was also huge. They were also commissioned by the church for frescoes and murals because increasing interest in religion through painting since more people couldn't read. Portraiture was uncommon, but the Mona Lisa and a few others were exceptions. Paintings in the Renaissance were drawn with the increasing interest in humanism, which means they were interested in the aspects of life and how it worked. The paintings were usually painted in calm colors and with a calm style. Some notable paintings in the High Renaissance were the Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, Creation and Adam, and The Birth of Venus by Botticelli, shown in this picture. Architecture had a huge emphasis on geometry, proportion, and symmetry. They used the golden ratio, known as phi, to construct buildings. Modern buildings and sports arenas are influenced by the architectural styles from the High Renaissance. The architecture was a combination of Greek and Roman styles with an added Italian flair. For example, the Colosseum was a huge influence on football stadiums and the domed stadiums. Over here is the St. Peter's Basilica, which was one of the most famous buildings built in the High Renaissance. A few other achievements during the High Renaissance were that Christopher Columbus made his famous journey to America in 1492. Nicolaus Copernicus discovered that the Earth exists in a heliocentric solar system, meaning that everything revolves around the sun, instead of the Church's belief, where that everything revolves around Earth. Soon after the High Renaissance had ended, mathematicians René Descartes and Leonhard Euler made countless advancements to mathematics. In conclusion, the High Renaissance has really led to many countless developments in the world, most which even influence today. The Renaissance was at its peak during this time and was flourishing at a rate that must have had some huge thing driving behind it. There were many new aspiring artists born, and many scientists and mathematicians and scholars, professors like us, were working towards stardom and influenced the world hugely today. This all led to one of the greatest eras in modern history.